Hi guys, I am gonna share what I eat in a week, starting with Sunday breakfast. My week starts on Sundays because it's when I go to the farmer's market. So let's hit play. I'm reacting to my computer. Oh, my favorite. So good. Okay, so these are the pastries that I eat every single Sunday. The bakery is from Craftsman and Wolves. It's a San Francisco bakery, but they sell them at my farmer's market. And I recently got this toaster. This is the Balmuda toaster, and it's like really good for pastries because you can use the little cup of water and it steams the bread, but it's smaller than my old toaster. And this was the first time I was seeing if these pastries would fit. So I had to cut them in half before putting them in. Normally I don't. Anyways, see, that's the little water thing. Such a good toaster. Looks good. These are my favorite pastries. They're so good. Okay, I can actually get a chance to explain everything because this is a YouTube video. That is Tabasco salt. I'm always asked what this salt is that I'm putting on. It's sold at Craftsman and Wolves, and it's meant to be sprinkled on top of this particular pastry. It is Tabasco salt. Yum, so good with my little iced coffee. So that was breakfast. Okay, lunch. I always do the same thing for lunch on Sundays as well. This is poke. I have like a fish stand that I go to at the farmer's market, and if you get there early enough, you can get the poke, and it's so good. And I just have a bunch of different variations of how I eat it, but this is like the classic style. So just over rice, cucumber, carrots. Okay, dinner. This is red snapper. My first time trying the red snapper from my fish guy at the farmer's market. Oh yeah, I made a mango salsa because I had a bunch of mangoes that I had bought the week before and they were nice and ripe. I used poblano, but I think jalapeno would also be good. Mango salsa with the red onion. I asked the fish guy how to cook the red snapper, and he said to cut it into like 1-inch cubes and just fry it on the stove top. It was really good. Greek yogurt. I use Greek yogurt for everything. When I want like a creamy dressing, it's like such a good sub for sour cream if you don't have it or anything creamy. These were really good. Oh, but okay, before getting into the next clip, I totally messed up the tortillas. They were like really sticking to my pan, and the tortillas were not that good. Okay, so this is Monday now. I've been on a tropical fruit kick ever since I came back from Hawaii, and I found a tropical fruit stand at my farmer's market. So this is me making a little tropical fruit yogurt bowl. It was so good, totally hit the spot. I had this before working out. I've been really consistent at the gym. I don't always film my workouts though. And then after the gym, I had a protein smoothie. This was lunch. Oh my God, this lunch was so good. I really wanted to make this because the Craftsman and Wolves is where I get all my bread for the week too. And they have a Japanese milk bread, which is traditionally what you eat Japanese egg salad on. And Japanese egg salad is just like super simple egg salad, but made with Kewpie mayo, which is like a Japanese mayo that has a more umami taste. This was so good. And I toasted the Japanese milk bread in my Balmuda toaster. So simple and delicious. Okay, and then every once in a while I'll like bake something. This time I made lemon bars because Meyer lemons are in season, and there was just like so many delicious looking Meyer lemons at my farmer's market, so I just got a bunch of them. I love lemon bars. So this is me making lemon bars with the Meyer lemons, and Meyer lemons are like not as tart as normal lemons. They're a lot sweeter, and they have a very like floral flavor. They're so good. So I used not as much sugar for these lemon bars. By the way, all the actual details of all of these recipes are in my newsletter. It's emilymariko.substack.com. I'll put a link in the description. Every single Sunday, I send out a newsletter with all the details from my previous week's TikTok videos. So if you're looking for specifics, you should subscribe. Okay, next up is salmon. I have salmon every week. I get it fresh from the farmer's market. It's so delicious. And I usually just make it really simply on Mondays. Like I try to eat it earlier in the week. And this is one of my go-to ways to make it. I always have it with rice. I always try to put like some kind of veggie on the sheet pan with it. So I had cauliflower this time. And I just season it really simply. So this is just like lemon juice, salt, pepper. Sometimes I do like butter, but the salmon itself is so good. It's so fresh. So I eat this pretty much every Monday. And then, okay, Tuesday for breakfast, I didn't film it, but I just had overnight oats. And then I always have leftover salmon from the night before, and I make salmon rice bowl. So this is my salmon rice bowl that I eat every week when I can. Yeah, it's so good. Like I have to stop myself from eating this like actually every single day. The ice trick helps moisten the rice, by the way, because the rice is left over too, and leftover rice can get like kind of hard. So the ice trick helps moisten the rice. It's so good with kimchi. It's like the best meal ever. Delicious. So good. Okay, dinner. This was delicious. I made butternut squash soup with garlic bread. It was so good. And I made them both kind of like at the same time. So roasting the squash with the garlic means that you can use the roasted garlic in the soup and the bread. So that's what I did here. Shallots. My farmer's market doesn't have onions right now, so I just got shallots instead. Look how good the roasted garlic looks. The squeeze. This was my garlic butter that I'm making. Oh my God, it was so good. I freeze my bread just so that it lasts longer. And I made it in the Balmuda. And then, so I was making like the garlic butter while everything else was cooling off. And then once the roasted squash is cool to the touch, you just stick it all in the Vitamix. And I blended it with like a little bit of half and half that I had. So, so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I want to eat this again, actually. That was my garlic bread. So simple. Delicious. Yum. The crunch. Okay, so Wednesday, breakfast and lunch, I was out. So when I go out to eat or have something to do, I usually don't film. So this is dinner on Wednesday. This is my first time. Okay, this is my first time making roast chicken, which is something that I really want to master. So this is me chopping up a bunch of veggies to put like at the bottom of the pan. I stuffed some stuff inside the chicken. I put it on top, the thyme, melted some butter, yum. I definitely put the chicken upside down. I sent it to my mom after this and she told me the chicken's upside down. And I think I realized while I was cutting it too, because the breast wasn't crispy because it was upside down. So I'm actually trying this again this week and I'm gonna roast it right side up. It was so good. And then I just had the veggies at the bottom of the pan with the chicken. And then for carb, I just did bread with butter. And since I had roasted half a garlic, I was able to use the roasted garlic on the bread, and it was like a kind of deconstructed garlic bread. It was so good. Thursday, I also had a super busy day, so this is literally just a snack, but I wanted to show it because I eat this all the time. It's just apples and peanut butter, but I get unsalted peanut butter, and then I put flaky salt on top. And there's something about it that's just delicious. Like super crispy apple, really, really good peanut butter, unsalted, and flaky salt. Okay, so Friday morning, I had eggs and toast. I usually alternate like eggs and toast and overnight oats. Those are like my go-to breakfasts. And then this Friday for lunch, I had leftovers from the dinner that I had on Thursday that I didn't film. But this is me preparing Kahlua pork, another Hawaii-inspired dish. that I can't get enough of. It's so easy to make and it's so good. And I had made this before a couple weeks ago and I just really wanted to have it again. I like doing like one slow cooker meal every week or two. So Kahlua pork, you just make it with Hawaiian red salt. It's like a specific type of salt and liquid smoke. This is literally it. You just pour it all on top of pork shoulder and stick it in the slow cooker. It seems like a lot of salt, but it's so good. And your hands, my hands smell like liquid smoke after. So there it goes. And you can slow cook it for up to like 20 hours. But I usually just do like 7 to 10 or 8 to 10. So then this is dinner, the Kahlua pork. I usually start prepping everything else like, well, these were sweet potatoes. This was like an hour before the pork was done. And I just stuck these in the oven. The sweet potatoes are Japanese purple sweet potatoes. I got them at the, well, I got all my produce at the farmer's market, but I put in the sweet potatoes a little bit before the Brussels sprouts. There's the pork. Yum, look at that. It just falls off the bone. So good. And then I shred it. And then you have pork for like a couple days. Well, depends on how many people you live with. Matt eats a lot, so it lasts us like a day and a half. This was so good with the purple sweet potato, and like the Japanese sweet potatoes are so creamy and they're so good with butter and salt. This was a delicious meal. Okay, and then Saturday, breakfast, I think I had overnight oats, and then this is what I did for lunch, using a couple of the leftovers that I had from the Kahlua pork night. So I had one sweet potato left, and then I had obviously some pork left, and I had all this kale that I hadn't used yet. So I chopped up everything, made it super tiny, and I shredded the pork even more just to get everything like super small bits. And then I basically just heated everything up on the pan. So I did onion first, put in the kale, sauteed it, and then the sweet potatoes acted like a glue, and it was basically like a hash. This would have been so good with the fried egg on top, but I was out of eggs. I was sad though. This was so good. I just put some green on top. Yeah, this would have been so good with an egg, but I was out of eggs. And then Saturday night is usually like me and Matt's night. So I usually don't film Saturday night's dinner. Yeah, so that's what I eat in a week. And I will see you guys next week. And to know what I'm eating this week, follow me on TikTok. Okay, bye.